All right, welcome everybody to the next episode of Dried Blood. We got BigDaddyTeej. We got My Name is Byf, the Lord Daddy himself.
The Big Daddy himself.
Oh, God. I have to have a Big Daddy.
Referring to Teej, of course.
This was a wild death match between the two of you. And there's always the idea where you see their characters, you're like, okay, so this is how it's going to go. And it did not go that way at all. At any point, what I was watching I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I think it just speaks to the creativity that the two of you bring to the arena. And that's exactly what we're looking for. We're not wanting predictable stories. Tell me, for the two of you, obviously we get some sense of the inspirations behind some of your characters, but I want to hear from you. Like, what was the one thing you're like, into this match, I got to make sure that I get this. I get to do this.
Teej, after you.
I mean, I guess so. I've always, I'm not a super experienced D&D player at all, but every time I'm asked to be somewhere and play,
sir.
Been on the death match
let him talk. He hasn't won one yet, so he's right.
I haven't won one yet. It's true. It's but when I do it, I've been pretty like far fantasy. Big, long, fantastical backstory, you know, a rogue, an archer, a wizard, you know, whatever these things are. But this time I sat like, what feels a little bit more like just something like I've never done, and believe it or not, it was a cowboy. And I really wanted to be a cowboy. And when the more and more I thought about getting the chance to kind of have Byf as my opponent and both of our connections to Destiny, I remember messaging, you know, Mudcat. I said, hey, can I get revived every single time I'm attacked, because I'll have 1 HP, but my real health bar is this drone that follows around. He was like, yeah, that's fucking cool. We're gonna do that. And it just ended up, you know, it's like so I got to be a cowboy, and I got to get a little nod to Destiny in there. So that was my pretty much my full inspiration. I just wanted to talk with a draw.
I loved it. And it apparently was spot on. People in chat were saying 10 out of 10 for that Southern accent right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, we should have just had a chaos event be like a bunch of crows. That'd have done
yeah.
I actually wanted to do a giant chicken, have the Colonel in there. But in this, so I see it. It was a thing of beauty how you combined it. Byf, your character.
So initially, as far as direction for like actual combat build, etc., all that nonsense, I've really wanted to play the gun monk, a gunk, for a very long time. So I was like, absolutely, I'm doing this. But I sat there and I was like, I want to go ahead and make sure that this is something that is stupid and fun. So I went with the double pistols instead of the musket, which would have been way stupid meta. And I sat there and I was like, okay, so you have 2 pistols. What is a great fun thing that you can do for one episode, which you would never be able to do? And recently, my wife and I had watched Our Flagman's Death, and Steed Bonnet is absolutely...
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I was like, okay, I'm not going to be a perfect Steed Bonnet, but maybe that perfect as what I'm trying to do is channel that kind of, I'm terrible at this energy. So yeah, I channeled the I'm terrible at this energy into it, and thus Greg was born. The child of some kind of noble Lisbon line, I'm sure, that has far too many children, and therefore very, you know, very replaceable. He's not at all required for any part of the family line, and also is terrible at everything he does. And at that point I sat there, I was like, okay, but all of the gun monk things do imply that he's actually going to be hitting things. So I sat there and said, okay, there's 2 ways of doing this. Either Greg is unbelievably incompetent and it's all an accident, which is very much what begins to happen. But then I sat down at one point a few days ago with Mud, and I sent a DM being like, okay, so yeah, Greg is terrible at this, but also I kind of wanted to play with the idea that his guns are cursed. And I think my exact line was something, I can see it right here.
I think you misspoke. I think you mean assholes.
Yeah, listen, I just want you to know that Steve would have bought guns. You know, he would have paid a crew of guns.
Indeed. But yeah, I said not cursed as in 10,000 years of undying suffering, cursed as in they're sentient and they're shit posters, which is absolutely what the guns ended up being.
Greg, you're a bitch!
Oh my gosh, it makes so much sense that your inspiration came from our Flag Beans death, because even the bit where the totally unintended bit where you ended up like having a thing for the Shadow King, it's like such a perfect like authority figure in your life. It's just like
damn right, Greg would follow the Shadow King. Oh yeah,
it was perfect. It was perfect. And the two of you had such very opposing character personalities, like how you approached the fight, how you went about it, how you approach death as a concept. Okay, as noted, this is the most deaths ever happened in any death match, because normally there's only one, maybe two at the highest number, and yet
3.
somehow, what was our count here tonight?
I think I was
Including
10.
the actual deaths. Yeah,
I was 10.
you were 10 on
So-
your own.
Yeah.
And then two acolytes.
So yeah, that's 11
and 2 guns.
champion deaths,
Yeah.
2 acolytes, and 2 guns. Cool.
15 deaths in
15
one
deaths.
episode of D20 Deathmatch.
Yeah.
Between
That's
the
all
guns
we're
and the
going for.
acolytes of varying value of life
Yeah.
and sentience, but you know.
Yes. I mean, we aren't counting the loss of life for the box of chaos, but they're not really. Their body is gone,
count
but
it.
their soul stays on. Their soul stays in
And
there.
apparently goes through it. That guy came out of the
Yeah.
box like, this is not the worst toe beer I've ever had. That was
No.
like, what, you've only been in there for like a minute. Like what are they serving in the box?
Time works
What
different
happens
in the box.
Oh no, all of the souls still technically stay there. They have a set of
Oh.
rules. If you talk to any of our community members that have been in there, like they have one mug that they share amongst all of them. That's why that's what it is. They have very strict rules that you have to clean it immediately afterwards.
The guy who put the toe in there to create the toe beer that clearly the one guy in the box has had, clearly not a very popular member of the box community. I mean,
No.
good lord.
They're more like the cat of the group, where they just like put their tail or their fingers in random people's drinks and don't even care about it.
Oh God. Oh,
Yeah.
the wrong kind of chaos. Oh gosh.
Yeah,
They deserve to be in the box.
Let's talk about a little bit of the chaos that the two of you got to bring, which was your use of hero points. Holy freaking cow. Okay, Bife, you got to use yours first. So let's start with you when you did your ricochet with the chandeliers.
So cool.
So I did not know anything about what I was going to do with my hero point in advance. But I sat there and I was like, in the moment, there's definitely a chandelier. And we've all seen this happen at least once in a movie or a video game. And I did not know that the map was going to be with second story with the thing, but it could not have worked out better. And I'm so glad. Like, perfect serendipity.
Awesome.
I'll be honest with you that you kind of stole my thunder, because my chaos event was going to be dropping the chandeliers on you guys. So, not only did I not get to kill you, you took my chaos event. Okay, listen, we're not speaking right now.
Oof, I understand. Oh.
Actually, that's a blessing that you've managed to get the Shadow King to shut up. So thank you.
You're a bitch, Bife. That's me, not the guns.
You're a bitch.
Greg
I gotta say,
understands.
one of my favorite tropes in any action comedy is the accidental professional. That like the tripping and falling over your guns that go off in just the perfect ways. I was so intrigued by that, and the fact that I already knew I wanted to play off of dying a bunch, because to display the literal mechanic that I tried to create for this match. So like the fact that I got to just like sit. My character got to sit, drink beer, put his cowboy boots up on the table, and just wait to be killed over and over. It was one of my favorite parts about playing the character. It's like,
hit me.
Yeah, like it was like, this is the whole point, right? That's why we're here.
This ended up becoming more of like a practice, gunslinging practice for a while. Like, come on, you can hit me. Now, okay, Teej, you were the second use of the hero point.
Yeah.
Right? Flipping the coin, lighting her up, Daffodil doing what she does.
Yeah. I just thought about what can you do with I always picture these hero points a literal gold coin, like a challenge coin, or what they have in John Wick that they hand to all the vendors and all the the special gold coins. And I just imagine like you've got one, and the thought of melting it down into a golden bullet was like one of my, I just like, man, how do I just do this and then shoot it as a super shot? Like, just I don't know, it just sounded badass to me in the moment. It was like,
oh yeah,
let's just make a bullet out of my one hero point that I have to spend and then shoot the bullet.
I mean,
if it missed, that was gonna really suck though, because I got an advantage roll and everything. I was really nervous on that second one, like,
I did,
Dude,
Just goes into the ceiling.
I did have a question though. When you flipped the coin, was it Cabal?
Yes.
Ball on the field.
That's right.
I totally thought you were gonna make a Drifter joke there, and I was surprised you didn't.
Actually, you know that now that you mentioned that would have been a really good throw-in.
Oh, that would have been great.
A pretty good throw-in, yeah.
Honestly, after a while, y'all could just leave it up to chat because they were picking down every little reference that you all had, or just elevating it, like the Toquila, like the Eye of Agamotto on there, right? Like they're rocking it, and it's because you all created such inspirational content. They're like, I know where to take this, and ultimately, like when we think about storytelling, that's what I think is the ultimate form of that, is when you create a story and then others build off your story because they see it as something that they want to be a part of, that they want to add to, right? And now it becomes richer. Well, maybe not richer, but weirder in our case.
I never would have gotten the toe amulet had you not put the toe in the beer.
Really?
Yes.
Which, by the
it's so
way,
fun.
fantastic move. But that was just really inspired.
Save it for later.
You know, I thought to myself, I was like, you know, like what do you do with dismembered body parts are always seen in the glass jars in the creepy labs and things. They're
100%.
preserved in liquid. I'm like, oh, let's do that. But no, I actually love that somebody in the chat wrote the Eye of Agamotto, and I started to picture that instead. But initially, when you gave him the necklace, I was actually picturing that sequence in Pirates of the Caribbean where Johnny Depp has that like complete necklace of nothing but toes.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he like nibbles on the nails of the toe. I'm like, this is like, you know, is this just the necklace covered in toes?
That's what I was picturing too at first.
God,
like,
yes.
So you discover you've had like dirt underneath your pinky toe.
Just a silver chain with his toe on it. That's what I was picturing. Mostly, I just when we threw the toe in, I was just like, "What's the grossest thing I could do?"
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Make the toe a necklace.
It's still kind of fresh and dripping from tequila as
Oh,
well.
Ooh. Speaking of which, you didn't fly.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought about it for a second, but I figured it's like this. Greg is a fucking coward. He would probably
behind the
have
table
huge
the whole time.
vertigo. Yeah, his entire thing was, if I was going to channel the inner Steed Bonnet, I absolutely needed to hide behind the table the whole time. And like, you know, if I'd flown, I would have sat there and been like, okay, Greg flies into the chandelier and accidentally does something, but I had no easy way of sitting there and being like, okay, how do I even say I'm going to do that? How do I figure this out? For the time being, it just didn't feel quite right. It's like, no, Greg is a fucking coward. He wouldn't do the brave hero thing. He wouldn't do the risky thing. He would Steve Bonnet this up, and he would Steed Bonnet this up, and he would cower behind the thing, and he would pray to the powers that be that something else would go on. You know.
I do think that you have built yourself up, that the next time you return, you will be playing your sister.
It's yes.
The badass woman that she is.
Okay. Here's the rematch. You ready?
Okay.
Byf comes back and plays his character's older sister. I come back and play a newly ghost revived Greg with no memories.
Oh my god.
With no memory. So Greg's just a completely different revived character fighting his older sister.
Does he still have the cursed guns though? This is the question.
You know what? I was just thinking that just popped in my head that we said you hadn't won yet, but you won at our live show. Lord Snacks won.
Lord Snack did win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the live
show,
Holy.
GCX.
So that makes you a liar.
Yeah.
I guess I lied. Well,
you're
I've
a winner,
never won
but you're a
online.
liar.
It makes
I won IRL.
That's a good point. Good point. That's because we cheated for you, but that's okay.
Yeah, well.
All right,
I
let
mean,
us wrap this up.
I did drop the hammer. It's true. The hammer,
That's true.
Twice actually, because we got the sound right on the second.
Is it still on your sound button, Mudcat?
The
hammer.
Not on this profile, but probably. Hold on. I probably still have the GCX soundbite. Let me see.
Okay, he needs to look for this because this is important. It was a lot of. No, it wasn't. It was some effort.
Let's try. I do, and there it is.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't
You guys
hear it.
didn't hear it. You guys didn't hear it, but
Are you hearing things?
actually nobody hears it because it's not routed through anything. Hold on.
Oh, okay. There it is. Look at
We're
that.
all like listening real carefully.
I can hear it. Hold on. Let me.
Sorry, do you want to just do it at it like
No,
in
no,
post-production? Like,
no,
we'll
I got
react
this.
like we heard it.
Let me just put.
No.
Let me just put this. How about now?
There you go.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, I got
There
it.
Yeah.
I still got it.
All
Pretty cool.
right. Now that you found the sound, let's
Perfect.
wrap this up because I always love this part. This is my favorite part. Final thoughts about this deathmatch that you want to say as if you were talking directly to the Acolytes. It could be as your character, as a player, either or maybe both, if you feel so inspired to say so much. But this is like your final chapter towards them all. Who would like to go first?
You go first, Pipe.
Well, I do suppose that I may have fallen in battle, but at least it was indeed finally a noble duel. And
Shut the fuck up, Greg. We know what you think about the damn duel.
yes, I'm sorry. I'll shut it now.
I got shot to pieces by a longbow, Greg. Do you know how embarrassing that is, Greg? I'm a pistol. I'm the evolution of ranged weaponry. What the fuck, Greg?
What the fuck, Greg? Indeed. Indeed.
Can I get
All
that on a
right.
t-shirt?
Yeah, what the fuck, Greg?
What the fuck, Greg?
I think a T-shirt of a flying pistol just says "You're a bitch."
I've got to say, now that all that's over, just tell the audience I'm actually quite sick of driving that sack of shit. All he does is drink all day, and he looks at me and expects me to make up for all his life's mistakes every time he flings himself out a window or into a mysterious flaming box, or perhaps just sits still while fucking chandelier falls on his head. And then just, here I am, without fail, without rest, without a break for take a poo. No, none of that for me. Just bring him back, watch him die again, drinking his way into oblivion. This is who I got stuck with. This is my destined place to be. And I deserve better. Now that I've died, now that I'm gone, I'll resurrect no one. I spent my entire service with this fool, this absolute buffoon. And quite frankly, I will miss him.
And we will miss the two of you. Fantastic work. Mudcat, final thoughts?
That's it. I can't say any better than the ghost did. So we'll see you guys on the next episode of D20 Deathmatch.